Mr. Vinit Jain, Mr. N.K. Anand, Mr. Vaidyanathan, Mr. Anil Agrawal, Navika ji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Namaskar. First of all, let me take this opportunity to say it's great to be seeing all of you in person, and I hope we will be able to continue this because the virtual world can never replace our social interactions. The COVID-19 pandemic has altered our way of thinking, our life, and livelihoods beyond imagination, beyond experience in every way. Yet, despite the disruption, there are immense new opportunities, and India is moving ahead in the economic field with many promising results. Today, India is filled with the excitement of the celebration of 75 years of the independence, and also with the confidence of having administered 186 crore vaccine, much to the amazement of मुझे लगता है यहाँ वालों ने वैक्सीन नहीं लगवाई है. $186 crore vaccines, much to the amazement of international community. They have been raising question marks how India will do during the pandemic time. And today we stand here with our heads high and we could say proudly, 186 crore vaccines and all vaccines were free of cost, from rich to poor, everyone. In fact, to put things in perspective, that's one Australia in a day. Today, India is racing ahead with reforms at an unprecedented pace. Mr. Vaidyanathan talked about few reforms at the macro and the micro level. And I'm being the four-time elected representative of Lok Sabha from Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. I've seen the things changing on the ground in the past few years, very fast. But let me today talk about, because I'm standing here for the Economic Times program and the Times Network program, about the economy and other issues. Today, we are registering growth across sectors and setting records in exports, timely completion of projects, and the sheer scale at which we can achieve results. And today, we are providing Indians social welfare schemes, financial inclusion, ease of doing business, ease of living across the spectrum. Today, India playing a greater geostrategic role. Our voice is not only heard, but our opinion matters. Our actions are closely watched. Today, if the conversation and the table does not include India, it is as their loss. It is seen as their loss. And attempts are made to include India. This is the new India of the 21st century. This is the new India of the 21st century that is ready to lead in the post-pandemic world and on the path of becoming a Vishwa again. My dear friends, the multilingual, multicultural, multilateral environment in which we Indians live is a great power for only for India, but for the whole world. During the Corona time, we have seen how India, following the vision of One Earth, One Health, under the able leadership of Prime Minister Modi, has helped the world by providing necessary medicines and vaccines to so many countries. Though there were many questions raised during that time why we are giving medicines or the vaccines to the other countries, but that was our duty at that time. The world has recognized India's leadership during that time. And today, India is among those countries of the world whose health professionals and doctors are winning everyone's trust through their sensitivity and expertise. And I can share one experience with you. I was at Dubai Expo recently. One of the UAE ministers walked up to me and she said, I will never allow any doctor to touch my children except Indian doctors. I have trust only in Indian doctors. And trust me, she has put her soul, heart, everything to have, work for the Dubai Expo for the last good 7, 8 years. While interacting with her, and she's coming out and speak in favor of Indian doctors, that makes a lot of sense. And during the pandemic, it is the India's IT sector have saved most of the countries in the world by working around the clock. Today, India is the second, India is sending record software engineers to the world. As I stand today, more than 50 lakh software developers are working in India. That's a large number. Today, India has the third largest number of unicorns in the world. In fact, during the COVID-19 pandemic, India saw 47 unicorns were born during the COVID-19 pandemic. I still remember when I took oath as the Minister of State for Finance, Prime Minister Modi called me and Nirmala ji and instructed us that you have to resolve the issues, problems faced by the startups. Their issues of the incorporating of the company or the tax issues or other issues they have been facing for the last so many years. During the pandemic, it is not only we have seen the startups doing well, but becoming unicorns, 47 unicorns during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, more than 10,000 startups have been registered in the past 6 months. India has a huge, secure and successful digital payment platform. As Mr. Vaidyanathan touched upon about the unified payment interface, last month alone, 4.4 billion transactions have been made through UPI Bhim platform. Friends, the digital infrastructure that India has developed and adopted over the years have become huge strength of India today. Technological solutions like Arogya Setu app, अब तो आप भूल गए होंगे Arogya Setu app को. But technological solutions like Arogya Setu app for tracking corona infections and COVID portal for vaccinations are matter of pride for India. Unlike the West, which struggled to provide digital vaccination certificates, India has initiated this from the day one. उस समय भी लोग प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़ा करते थे. Even during that time, there is questions. Why this COVID? Why Arogya Setu app? They will take away your data, this and that. The West could not do that. We started it from the day one, and it has helped us to travel across the world, even during the pandemic time. When we started, when Prime Minister Modi talked about Jan Dhan Yojana on the 15th of August 2014, and he launched the program, if I remember clearly, on 28th of August 2014. Within 2 years of time, within just 2 years of span, bankers like Mr. Vaidyanathan and others, their staff on the field, have opened 450 million bank accounts in just 2 years span. During the pandemic time, it was the UPI Bhim platform and the bank accounts which has helped a country like India, which the West could not do. With the click of button, we used to transfer amount close to 31,000 crore rupees to 20 crore accounts in 1 minute time, That is what we achieved. And that what has changed, a lot of things have been changed on the ground. So there was a time when India was identified with the license Raj and majority of the things were controlled by the government. I'll say some time back, there was the Prime Minister was controlled by remote control and the government was out of control. But today, India is promoting ease of doing business, ensuring transparency, time-bound completion, and minimizing government interface. India has made its corporate tax one of the most competitive in the world by simplifying and reducing it. Last year alone, we have eliminated more than 25,000 compliances. And in most of the meetings, Prime Minister Modi reminds us or ministers like me in his cabinet, to work towards decriminalizing most of the provision in any of the act, to work towards ease of doing business, ease of living. And trust me, in the last 7 years, you have seen we have repealed thousands and thousands of such laws which were there from the British era. I'll be coming out with few laws in my information broadcasting sector for the benefit of the industry. I'll say that India has regained the confidence of business community by reforming measures like retrospective tax. India has also deregulated sectors like drone, space, geospatial mapping. These are emerging sectors where we are emerging as market leaders, both due to innovators and competitive pricing as well. India has made major reforms in outdated telecom regulations related to the IT sector and BPO. I still remember during the COVID-19 pandemic when the first lockdown happened on 24th of March 2020. I think after 7-10 days, it was me and Nirmala ji who used to go to Prime Minister's residence every day at 9:30, 10 in the morning. Used to come back for lunch close to 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock. We have to call some state, every district, get the feedback about the situation there. And also to work on the Atmanirbhar package and the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. We used to go back again 3 o'clock, come back at 10 o'clock at night when most of you were locked down in the houses. We were working back doors to prepare the Atmanirbhar package. It was Prime Minister Modi who was putting his heart and soul and mind into it to look at what benefits could be given to the poorest of the poor, how the industry could keep moving. If you re-employ your employees who are thrown out of the job, how we can incentivize that? How we can ask the bank to give you more credit without giving additional collateral or guarantee? And I think close to 4.5 lakh crore rupees has been given, which never happened in the last 75 years since independence. India is the only country which has given free fruit grains to 800 million people for more than 2 years span. Ladies and gentlemen, India is committed to becoming a trusted partner in the world, in the global supply chains. We are making way for free trade agreements with many countries. We have seen recently with Australia and the UAE. With the UAE, we had signed the CEPA, and India is the only country with which UAE has signed the CEPA agreement. The ability of Indians to adopt innovation, new technology, the spirit of entrepreneurship of Indians can give new energy to every global partners of ours. So this is the best time to invest in India. I think that message should go from this 2-day conclave that this is the best time to invest in India. And India's commitment to deep economic reforms is another major reason that is making India the most attractive destination for investment today. We have a government which provides social protection to the poor and needy, even as we handhold small entrepreneurs and startups, and at the same time, providing an enabling environment for unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit of the corporate sector. We follow the maxim of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. During the pandemic period, when the world was bracing for the worst and engulfed in uncertainty, India was busy preparing to strengthen its foundation for the post-pandemic world, for the new world order. The biggest projects to modernize digital and physical infrastructure got unprecedented momentum in the pandemic times itself. More than 6 lakh villages in the country are being connected with the optical fiber. An investment of close to $1.3 trillion is being made, especially on connectivity infrastructure. Through innovative financing tools like asset monetization, a target of $80 billion has been set. India has also launched the Gati Shakti National Master Plan to bring every stakeholder on the same platform for promoting development. This will give a new impetus to seamless connectivity and movement of goods, people and services. My dear friends, while following the path of Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliance, India's focus is not only on easing the processes, but also on incentivizing investment and production. With this approach today, production-linked incentive schemes worth $26 billion have been implemented in 14 sectors. The $10 billion incentive plan to roll out the fab, chip and the display industry is a testament to our commitment to making the global supply chain smooth. We are moving ahead with the spirit of making in India, make for the world. Along with the telecom, insurance, defense, aerospace, now there are limitless possibilities offered by India in the field of semiconductors as well. Friends, today India is drafting policies, taking decisions with regard to the present as well as the goals of the next 25 years. For this period, India has set the targets of high growth and saturation of welfare and wellness. We envision the Amrit Kal, the period of growth, to be green as well as clean. It will be sustainable and also be reliable, continuing the tradition of making big commitments and living up to them for the global good. We have also set a target of net zero by 2070. India, with 17% of world's population, may contribute 5%, only 5% in global carbon emission, but our commitment to tackle climate change is 100%. Initiatives like Inter-Solar Alliance, Coalition of Disaster Resilience Infrastructure for Climate Adaptation are proof of this. As a result of the efforts of the past years, today 40% of energy mix is coming from the non-fossil fuel sources. We have already achieved the commitments made in Paris 9 years before the target, whereas most of the countries who have committed even during the COVID protocol time, they have not fulfilled their commitments. Today, with the challenge in the global order, economic challenges and the emergence of new financial systems, we are seeing opportunities like never before. For the Indian private sector to rise, there is a need for collective and synchronized action within the country and globally. And let me say this with confidence to all the industry leaders present today. We are bullish about you. And we also wish you to ride the tide and weather the storm. Modi government is here to back you up. Further, in the age of artificial intelligence, blockchain, virtual reality, and the emergence of meta-universe is changing the nature of the game altogether. The kind of technology that is associated with the decision can be taken by a single country will be inadequate to deal with its challenges. In the midst of new challenges, the world today needs new avenues, new resolutions, and a new mindset. We must start seeing challenges. We must start seeing challenges as opportunities. As Prime Minister Modi said, आपदा में अवसर देखना है. और भारत ने आपदा में अवसर देखकर ही अच्छा करने की शुरुआत की है. So we must start see challenges as opportunities. From being risk averse, we must become risk diverse. From being in the game, we must own the game. From being speculating about the growth, we must initiate growth. The sonic boom will come from the bullish action of our private sector. I expect the Indian private sector to lead the way, to grab these reforms and opportunities and ensure our companies emerge as market leaders. that we increase the number of patents we have and the scale and size of our companies so they can dominate globally in their sectors. I assure you, Modi government has been and will continue to stand with you. Our government does not believe in holding hands and walking. We believe in taking a quantum leap, innovation and implementation in a time-bound manner. Friends, we can achieve this in an India way to emerge as a leading power. Let me say this today. We are talking about the demographic dividend and the democratic dividend at the same time. As a youthful nation, we have seen, if a given opportunity, our startups have done extremely well. Even during the pandemic time, we did not let even a single individual die because of hunger. महामारी के समय भी भूखमरी से किसी को मरने नहीं दिया है. आपदा के समय भी अवसर ढूंढने का प्रयास किया है. एक भी पीपी किट नहीं बनती थी. मात्र 1.5 महीने के अंदर 5 लाख पीपी किट 1 महीने में बनाने की क्षमता खड़ी की है. देश के लिए भी, दुनिया के लिए भी. जहां बैंक खाते नहीं होते थे, शौचालय नहीं थे, बिजली के कनेक्शन नहीं थे, वैद्यनाथन जी आपको आंकड़े दे चुके हैं. 45 लाख बैंक खातों की बात करनी हो या फिर 12 करोड़ रसोई गैस के सिलेंडर देने की बात हो, 3 करोड़ पक्के मकान बनाने की बात हो, या करोड़ों लोगों को फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन की बात हो, हर गांव तक बिजली, हर घर को बिजली पहुंचाने की बात हो, ये मात्र पिछले 5-7 वर्षों में हुआ है. भारत चाहे तो कुछ भी कर सकता है और दुनिया भर की निगाहें भारत पर है. और मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है आज मेजर इकोनॉमीज में जो भारत ने सबसे आगे बढ़कर, हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था जितनी तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ रही है, हमारे बिजनेस लीडर्स इसको और ताकत देंगे, भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था को और गति देंगे. भारत सरकार की ओर से कोई कमी ना आए, इसका हम आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं. हमारी सरकार आपके साथ चलेगी. आप 1 कदम चलोगे, मोदी सरकार 4 कदम चलने के लिए तैयार है. आइए मिलकर नए भारत, सशक्त भारत, उज्जवल भारत का निर्माण करें. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जय भारत, जय हिंद.
Thank you, Mr. Thakur, and I'm sure all our audience watching this live telecast have forgotten about their television remote control. That was an engaging speech.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, the Indian Union Minister for Finance, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, recently met the Chief of International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, on the impact of the geopolitical situation on global growth. And they elucidated that how India's accommodative fiscal